Welcome to my continued coverage of the 2023 Nashville Film Festival. On this episode, I'm going to review two films for you. The first of which is Fingernails, which was written by Kristen McCoy, Sam Steiner, and Stavros Rapatis. The film was also directed by Christopher McCoy as well. The film follows a woman who begins to work in an institute that works to determine if the romance in a given couple is genuine or not. The film stars Jessie Buckley, Riz Ahmed, and Jeremy Allen White. Now, there's so much stuff to really unpack in this film, but I'm going to come with it as spoiler-free as possible because I feel like this is the type of film that if you give away too much information, you're going to ruin it for the audience. Now, individuals can go to this institute and take a test to determine whether or not their relationship is compatible or not, right? So what you have two options. You can go through their course of study where you do things as a couple and you're counseled into so many different layers, or you just walk off the street and say, hey, I want to take the test. And what you do is they take your fingernail and they rip it out. And each scene that they do this, it is intense, brilliant at the same time, because you as the audience aren't expecting a gory element of the film, but you also know it's fingernails. You don't really know why it's called Fingernails, but then on top of that, you rip one of each, one man, one woman, one man, no matter what the relationship looks like. And then they put it in what looks like a microwave, and it formulates a score after a few moments. If you test at 0%, obviously you're not compatible. If you test at 50%, one of the people in the relationship is in love, but the other isn't. And then, of course, if you test at 100%, then hello, ding, 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 ding. Now, Jessie Buckley's character in this film, and it's going to take me a second here, she decides that she wants to take the test. So we have Anna, who's Jessie Buckley, and Jeremy Allen White's character, Ryan. They're a couple. They've been together, I think it was 5 years, and they had taken the test and they had gotten 100%. She wanted to kind of go through the course and kind of see what it was all about. And he was like, no, we've already tested 100%. I don't want to do that. And then, of course, the film follows Anna and her new, she's the understudy of Amir, who is the big time dog at the facility, right? She starts to work with Amir and starts to see that maybe there is trouble in her relationship. And she starts to unpack this a little bit. Maybe she starts to have these feelings for Amir and stuff like that. And of course, without diving too deep into the film, that is kind of what we're facing. Now, let me tell you what. Jessie Buckley, we have seen her time and time again deliver performances, and the same can be with Riz Ahmed. Their chemistry in this film is electric. It's dynamic. It's perfectly quirky because the film says a lot about love, and a lot of it is kind of even left in the interpretation of the viewer. Because as I was having conversations after the film was over, you can take it one way. You can put this film in any sort of generation, and that's capturing the idea of what love is, right? You have a generation where it's like you stay together no matter what. You have the newer generation where it's like, I'm not just gonna be here, just be here type of thing. And this, whether you walk into this film not knowing a lot, you walk out of it with a lot of questions. And one of them obviously is, would you do this? Would you do the fingernail test? Of course, that's one of the first questions. Number two, what happens at the potential of this test telling you that you might not be compatible for your significant other? It deconstructs the idea that love can be measured. And without the film, you see two people that might be perfect for each other, and they test at 100%. But are these tests bullshit? Because this relationship isn't always rainbows and butterflies. Can you overcome the idea that you have the 100%? Or can you overcome the idea that you have 50%? Or can you overcome the idea that maybe you're not compatible at all? Would that be in the back of your mind for the rest of your lives? Christopher McCoy, he really brilliantly lays this script out. It's science fiction in some aspects with the fingernail aspect, and then you have a romance level between our main characters. The thing about it is Ryan is just kind of a normal guy flying about his life. He's got the 100% match with his girlfriend Anna, and he has Anna that's kind of wandering off and wondering so many different things while he's just kind of being that guy. And this film really is a brilliant deconstruction of relationships. I loved it quite a bit. It's quirky, it's weird, it's charming, it's smart, it's funny. Performances by Buckley and Ahmed are delightful. I had heard a lot of bad things going into this film, but I'll tell you what, I walked away a big fan of it. The second film that I checked out here was Eileen. A woman's friendship with a new co-worker at the prison facility she works at takes a sinister turn. The film was written by Otessa Mashafega and Luke Gobel, and it was directed by William Oldroyd, and it stars Thomasin, Mckenzie, and Hathaway. While this film is entirely aesthetically pleasing, it gives you that old school style film vibes. It's kind of grimy, I guess you could say, in so many different ways, but the story is so slow. It's so slow to start to capture any meaningful connection to anyone in the film. One of the things that I kind of noticed is the slow pacing here has really, you have to earn the slow pacing whenever the payoff has to be strong. But if you're not establishing these characters early in the film, you're not going to get an emotional connection. There's things about the film that work. Like Anne Hathaway is one of the best actresses going right now. She's delightful. It was nice seeing her in this role, which is kind of off the normal, what you typically see from her. Thomasin, Mckenzie, who plays Eileen, young actress, continues to make her mark in this space and makes her projects worth watching. Their chemistry, they have just a very strong chemistry within this film. And when we get to the third act, it takes this wild turn that I really don't know what it had to do with anything else that happened in the film. Like, I wish the last 15 minutes would have been the same breath as the first hour, because it would have made for a more exciting film. It was uneven, it was slightly unforgettable, and you do have two good performances. If you're a fan of Anne Hathaway or Thomasin Mckenzie, I highly recommend checking it out. You know what I mean? It's definitely worth trying to figure out what the third act has to do with the rest of the film and why the other acts weren't kind of intricate with each other. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that film if you've checked it out. So that's Eileen and Fingernails. Let me know what you think of those films.